Hey there, my name is Julie. I like to talk about spiritual stuff. I usually put it in context of something I'm learning, an experience I've had. Sometimes I do readings. Maybe we'll do a reading. I made soup. I made lentil soup. Yes, I am pretty proud of it. I have, I made like 5 quarts. I am like blown away that I made the soup. I used to eat like, the cans of Amy's organic lentil soup. Really good soup. That's like $4 a can. So that's one meal. It does fill you for the day, but I made like 5 quarts of soup for $4, you know? So that's pretty exciting. Like, I don't know, I'm just so happy I did it. So happy I made soup. It's healthy, no preservatives. I know what's in it. Nice organic veggies and organic seasonings. And this bread is chilled to lower the glycemic index on it. And then I toast it and put some butter on it. So I do like a little bit of bread with my soup. So, these carrots are like those nice colored carrots. This is a purple carrot. Here's a yellow. This soup has potatoes, carrots, lentils, onions, celery, and seasonings. And I actually have the ingredients to make another version of the soup with squash, green beans, spinach, lentils. Yeah, something like that. So maybe I would keep the thyme and the oregano out of that version and let it be a little bit more cinnamony, nutmeggy. That's what my idea is. We'll see. I made this in the crock pot, so it cooked for like 6 hours or something. Really great. So impressed. I might put potatoes in the other one too. Why not? Maybe. We'll see how much squash. Actually, I just got a huge squash, so I don't know if potatoes will fit. That's all for now. So, ate my soup. I'm pulling up a deck of cards, and we're going to do a quick reading. I'm going to my app at companionjulie.com to pull up the oracle, so I can use the astrology oracle. And I've digitized a bunch of my oracle decks that I made and added them to the oracle here. There's 11 card pickers on this one page. And you can pick cards from 11 different decks at once. As you ask the questions, you pull the cards and you just get a nice big picture. And the reading displays on the phone in one view. So, it's pretty cool. Check it out if you're interested. You can subscribe for free and get one free session per month, or $5.55 per month gets you unlimited access and sessions. The reading starts with Hybris. It's an asteroid, and when we have an asteroid that's like a name of something, a lot of times it's mythology, but the asteroids, or whatever they're named after, is going to give us clues as to what that energy is playing out. Hybris, I believe, is kind of like hubris, but I also want to kind of look it up because it's been a while since I looked that one up, and lately I've been re-looking up, ones that I hadn't looked at in a while, because this is an article that I made a long time ago. I'm going to look it up in terms of mythology. Hybris is the personification of insolence, excessive pride, and outrageous behavior that defies the natural order. She is the spirit of arrogance that leads to a mortal's downfall. Oh, okay. Okay. And that is the heart of the matter. Influencing on a practical level, Niobe. The mythology around Niobe is that she was prideful in her children. So here we have pride again. Influencing on an emotional level, water. Emotions are influencing on an emotional level. Okay. Opportunity, psyche. You're able to see something more clearly about yourself right now. Challenging factor is Hermes. Don't take other interpretations of it or try to make it mean something right now. It's like balance out the truth, Fidus. This is very interesting. Okay. Tell us more about the heart of the matter. Caretaking is in your environment, how this affects you, human family, an underlying issue, time to evolve, changes needed, inspiration, what helps detoxify, what hinders reconciliation. Okay. Hmm. This isn't a time to think that it's all on you to take care of everything. There's changes needed. This isn't all about you. You may have been taught that it was, that things are on your shoulders and things. But this is sort of saying, like, that's a program you're changing. You're not a victim to this. There's some shadow work to be done. But you're a little ungrounded, so get more practical. The practical was Niobe. People pleasing, insult, black and white thinking, bad advice. So when you're insecure, you have a coping mechanism. And instead, it's like, face this fear. Yeah, things might be in flux, like I feel it, an insecurity. And maybe you were taught, like, well, just do this when that is the case. It's like, do things to control this. But this is saying, no. Don't try to, like, bring this all back together. This is, like, being, like, picked apart for a reason here because it's unhealthy and it's time to put it to rest. Look at what's important to you. And then, like, get balanced out and grounded so that you can hear your heart and then you're prepared to take action on what your heart wants. It's a mistake to gloss over this and to think too highly of yourself that you don't have any more work to do. You do get a fresh start here, but, like, not one that skims over any work to do. Like, you really do got to focus on it so that you can resolve it. All right, let's get serious about this then. Give us some more details here because this is a little too vague. What what needs to be focused on in the shadow here? Don't excuse me, don't be doing what other people told you to do. Here I am telling you what to do. Be receptive to your intuition. Only deal with what's in front of you. This isn't the time where you're going digging for something unknown. You already know the issue that's in front of you. It is an opportunity to reset and have a fresh start. But you do have to heal this thing that's in front of you. So you might feel it as a discomfort, as a low-level discomfort that's kind of like, oh, I feel like I should be doing something, but you know you're not supposed to be doing that because that's what you always used to do. And you know that's like part of the pattern. And then it's like now instead of that, you're gonna be in this discomfort. So what can you do with that discomfort that's not the old pattern? Well, you got to get grounded, you got to be still, you got to listen, and the answers will come when you're open to there being other answers. What can this person do to help them face what's in front of them? Okay, know that it's Achilles. This is your weakness. So that's why you feel it like it's a weakness. And you've been tried and true, and you've been counted on to do this by not just yourself, but others. And on an emotional level, I think you do feel like you should be coming together with others, and that this should be a team effort, and that should be solved together. But there's something missing, and the missing piece is within you. And so you should be looking within, or looking at what's in front of you, and then what? And then what? When they see, what do they see when they see this in front of them? What do they see? We've got 400 concepts here. Can we cover it? Content, how this affects you, transcending, an underlying issue, new timeline, changes needed, envy, what helps, competition, what hinders, beautiful. Okay. It's like everything around you would just stay with the status quo and let you fall back into the way that it always used to be. And that's not the opportunity. Is to break out of that. The opportunity is that you get to end the cycle that you've been in. But you do have to be the one to end it, like, because you'll be like tempted back into that old comfortable way of doing it. And if competition is helping, it's like, do what you have to do to frame it as a challenge that you're willing to take. You know, what motivates you? Okay. So literally what is in front of them that they're healing within the eighth house stuff? What's in the eighth house and that's in front of them now? Okay, first off, entitlement. Like, maybe you feel entitled to have it go a certain way, to be supported in a certain way, to have certain things turn out the way that you want them. But this is kind of saying no. This is actually something you're not aware of as an entitlement wound. And you may know that you see something the opposite way of somebody else. You're aware of that. Is it like a win at all costs kind of feeling? That you're actually avoiding? Oh, okay. So if you had like a win at all costs feeling, you might suppress that, deny it, because that's not appropriate for the situation. Okay? So that's like a layered thing in here. And so admitting you have a vengeance kind of feeling means that you can acknowledge it and validate it within yourself, like why you have it, accept that you have it, and be present with it. That's the thing that's going to process it through. But if you deny it, then you're not going to be able to process that through, and then you'll still be doing things without realizing why you're doing them. And part of why you're doing what you're doing is you feel like something should go a certain way that you want it to go, entitlement. And when it doesn't go that way, you feel like you should be able to do whatever, win at all costs. But know that that's not appropriate, so you deny feeling that way. It's like a little Jenga tower of stuff. You know that you are opposed to somebody else's way of thinking, feeling, doing. It does give you credit for having solved an overindulgence. So maybe there was something that you were indulging in to help yourself cope, and it's saying you're not doing that anymore. That's great. And it is actually saying you have a blocked heart. But untangling this other stuff might need to come first before unblocking the heart. Entitlement and vengeance. Where did you experience these things before? Was it taught to you? Do you judge it? Do you judge those things? Right? It's likely that you might judge vengeance. You might judge entitlement. And just that judgment lodges the energy within you. So the energy is within you. That's why you're seeing it in your reality. So can you resolve how you feel about it? Which is, why do I feel that way about it? Validate yourself. Validate why you feel the way you feel about entitlement or vengeance, which you may have only allowed yourself to see outside of you to this point, not within you. Okay? I feel like we're getting somewhere now. Let's take some self-care cards, because these are hard topics to broach, and what's going to help this person get into the place where they can handle these things and process this through? Well, it's saying you're learning new things. That's great. That's helpful. Stay hydrated, because especially when you're moving energy within your body, staying hydrated becomes important, like lubrication to it, you know? Too much nails. Why does that card keep coming out lately? Someone watching must have something to do with the nails. It's like maybe you were acknowledged for your nails at some point, and now you're just like hyper-focused. And maybe that's something to notice about yourself. Like when you do hyper-fixate on one thing, why is that happening? You know, is it coming from an urge within or outside of yourself? And notice those things where you're taking your cues from. It's saying to let yourself cut ties where you need to. Let other people break the patterns within themselves too. And maybe creatively express yourself. So you have some feelings that are unresolved about entitlement or vengeance. Is there some artwork that you can kind of let yourself see that? Is there a poem? Is there a painting? Is there a way that you can sort of look at and help yourself process how you feel about these things? Understand it, basically, you know? Tell me about vengeance within this user, person watching this. Tell me about vengeance within them. Okay, so your perception is that it's like nature, it's like natural. You know, like if I was just watching a Ants Canada video about these beetles he has in his terrariums, and they were fighting, and he like puts on a little story about it where like one male is like fighting over his female, stuff like that. It's like you may feel like it's natural for this sort of vengeance thing to come up, but actually we're humans. We're not like mammals or animals. We are mammals, but we're not like animals. So we have a higher mind, and that's why our nature is a little bit higher of a way of operating, a higher standard. It does say that at this point you intend to repeat your way of coping with it. Like you haven't quite made any decisions about not repeating your way of coping with vengeance. It's suggesting that you align with your highest self's view, which is the view that, you know, you want to deal with this, and your thoughts are maybe not ready to allowing you to answer the call yet, but you may realize there's a call to you right now to align with something of a higher standard that would require you to leave behind a repeating pattern of coping with a certain thing. I mean, you probably already realize this is suppressed, repressed, denied, or hidden within you. You do know that. That's correct. And you have not dealt with your feelings on this yet. You're doing something to avoid feeling this right now. Behaving in darkness, it says. Okay. I'm going to do an essence deck reading here. You may not have realized that you are directly responsible for the experience you're having because it matches the energy you have on the inside. If there's a relationship involved where, like, if you keep on the path of your self-healing, you lose out on some money or lose access to some sort of resource. It's just acknowledging that. And that might be part of why you want to gravitate towards back into the cycle, but like, you are being called by your highest self. What are you going to listen to? Your fear or your highest self? Anything else here? There may be part of your inner voice that sort of tries to deter you from following what you're passionately drawn towards. You may be sabotaging yourself when it comes to this. And you might tell yourself that this is just the way it is. This is what you got to do. And it's not the truth. It would be an act of self-love to go the distance. You are deceiving yourself. From your higher self's view, you are deceiving yourself. Okay. So you sort of think this is no big deal, or you're already handling it, or it's going to be handled, or, just might be hard to focus on this and like get really into it, but like maybe you need some silence and just to like let yourself hear your intuitive prompts and thoughts. And you might feel really tired when it comes to this. This might make you actually really tired. Yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend, and whenever we had like a really serious conversation going, he would just fall asleep. It was like a coping mechanism for him. So you might really tell yourself like it's okay to avoid feeling this or dealing with this, or just like you're tired right now, so you'll do it later. But the heart of the matter is it's cutting you off from things, and that this is the time that you're being asked to collect those pieces of yourself. I wish that I could get more specifics for you, but this is just giving me general. So I'm going to have to say that, I'm not meant to get into the specifics, even though, I like doing that. This is more general, and it's around like people pleasing kind of stuff and like entitlement and vengeance and like just basically like coping mechanisms that you adopt when you're brought up in unhealthy relating dynamics. And it's like saying like whatever you normally do, you want to smooth things over, be the hero, step back in, reunite things. And it's saying, no, like don't do that, because this upheaval that's been going on is giving you the opportunity to actually look within and see what's in here that's making that be the case out there. And then when you release yourself from the pattern, you step into a new timeline, a fresh start, new beginning. We had all those cards there. And it's like your soul is calling you to do that at this time. That's what you're literally being called up to do. That's why all of this stuff is changing and why it's not going the way it always went for a while. It's not comfortable. What you're going through is not comfortable. And it's not going to be comfortable to step out into this unknown space where you haven't been yet for your humanness, but there are things you can do to make it more comfortable, which is know that you have your own back, which is reassure yourself, which is, have faith, which is just sort of be excited at the possibilities, you know? Okay, I'm going to end it there. What do you think? Remember, just take what resonates for you, let it prompt you towards some self-inquiry, and only take what is true for you. Okay, that's all. Bye.